Welcome back, my kings and queens. You are now tuning in to another installment of the King's Vault podcast, where every conversation held on this platform is meant to edify, to educate, and to help elevate the minds of our kings in today's society. I'm your host, Mr. Daniel, and we are here with a special guest, Mr. Freddy himself, Mr. Love No Ego. Thank you so much for being here. We have, like I said, he's a special guest. He's a inspirational, transformational speaker, motivator, professional trainer, personal trainer, sorry, educator, author, and founder of the Love No Ego Foundation. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm great, man. I'm beautiful, loving life, happy, healthy, doing the good work. What else do you need?
Listen, that's what it's all about. Listen, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to rock it with us today. So today's topic, we're gonna go right into it. We're gonna talk about ego, right? We're gonna talk about ego,
Mm.
what it is, and how pretty much removing that ego out of your professional and your personal development. All right. So to start off, in your own words, what is ego?
I think of the ego as overly self-centeredness and fear because it's not like you're not supposed to think about yourself. I
Hmm.
think I've come to learn that it's very, very beneficial if we think of ourselves less, but not
Mm,
think less of ourselves. It's more
I
about
like that.
quality. It's more about quality than it is quantity. If I think of myself all the time, all the time, all the time, I'm actually going to limit myself. I'm going to limit my resources. I'm going to limit myself as a human to connect
Mm,
with individuals like you and all those other wonderful resources out there. And also the fear, fear paralyzes folks. We
yeah.
have programming that's been placed upon us from our parents, not necessarily dogging our parents or our families out, but they did the best that they could.
Yeah.
And times have evolved. So I think it's important to look at what's serving you and what's not serving you.
Hmm.
And that way
Hmm.
you can remove those barriers, you can remove those limitations, and you can show up as your best self. So that ego is this overly self-centeredness and the fear aspect of it all.
Wow. That's actually pretty. That's pretty good. The Webster's dictionary. When I googled ego, I was trying to figure out. It gave it more on that to be egotistical is to have a inflated point of view of self and an inflated point of view of self-importance. So basically, thinking of yourself better than everyone else. But you said fear, which is interesting. I've never heard the two being also almost so like put together. What do you think that fear stems from? The fear of not being accepted, the fear of one realizing, oh, if they really see that I'm not able to do this thing, they will leave me or something. What do you think that fear comes from?
It can be trauma related. It could be a
Mm,
fear, it could be fear of missing out. Uh, because you have to really just be basic and be human and think about, we've been conforming since the day we came out of the womb.
right.
Imagine this: you spend 9, 10 months in the womb. It's dark, it's quiet.
Hmm.
You naturally use your senses. You don't even think about it. You naturally, intuitively use your senses. You touch, you feel, you hear, you listen to mom. You kick. Mom even invites people over to touch the belly and feel you.
Right.
You know, and you have a
Yeah.
heartbeat. You have a heartbeat before you have this big old brain, right?
Hmm.
And you come out on your birthday, and you just spent 9, 10 months in this dark place. You come out. There's fluorescent lights in your face. Doctor
Right.
slaps you. There's noise. There's machines. There's metal. There's clank, clank, clank. You go from one box, the hospital, to the next box, to the car, to the next box, the house, to the next box, the room, to the next
Hmm.
box, the crib. And then you spend the rest of your life getting this job, going to the office in this box.
Right.
And then you spend the rest of your life too, also trying to search back or go back to peace. To
Mm.
That's why we take vacations. That's why we
Yeah.
meditate. What are you trying to get back to? So if you can kind of remove those things that are not serving you, every day will sort of be a vacation. You won't crave to get away because you'll be living in purpose. You'll be doing the things that you love to do. You'll be doing the things that speaks to your natural intuition. You have a
Hmm.
gift. I have a gift.
Yeah.
Our job is to be ourselves. And if we can commit to showing up as our best selves, love is going to do what it does. It's already happening.
Yeah.
And we need to jump on that frequency so we can maximize this human experience. That's it.
That's crazy. You said, doing our job to be our best selves. Most people don't even know what that best self of themselves is.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, removing the things that are not servicing you, that can create that box and that you're saying you're putting yourself in. And it's crazy because most people feel boxed in and only to end up in the box 6 feet in, So that's wow. Wow, that's very powerful. Uh, do you think men and women show their side of ego in the same degree? Like, do you think it's like, well, men have more ways of presenting, or not even presenting, just highlighting their egotistical ways different than women? Or how do you think
I
that?
think, and kind of piggybacking off of that last question into this one, perfect question
Mhm.
is, men have this society's pressure put upon them
Hmm.
to be this male, to be this,
Alpha male, macho.
you got to stick your chest out.
Yeah,
I'm a personal trainer. I could drop down and do 100 push-ups, but why do I need to show you that I can do 100 push-ups?
right. All right.
Why do I need to prove to you that I can do it? And what's that reward? A little bit
Yeah.
of instant gratification to help me boost my little ego. Uh,
Mhm.
Once you know, bro, you just know. And once you kind of wake up to the real woke and that consciousness, you can never, ever go back. You can never, ever go back to those ways. You can never accept anything other than the truth. And there's no comparisons. There's no opposition that can
Mm.
that can stand up to the truth. And that truth is being that you're human. You are love.
Right.
We are love. We are it. We are the source. We're from the
Right.
creator, and we can create.
Right.
So we have to get to a space. I think it's important to get to a space where we practice this truth, because we practice at a lot of things. We practice at, becoming a basketball player. We practice at being the best personal trainer, the best podcaster, whatever it might be. All these
Right. Right. Right.
things that we do, but we don't practice at life. We don't
Mm.
practice at igniting this human intuition that we have. We don't practice at that.
Wow. How do you think one goes about practicing that? Because you did say remove the things that don't serve you. Like if you look at a lot of things actually we are being conditioned with as a society, and not just men or women, just
Mm-hmm.
as a whole entire society, the human race. There's a lot of things that we are being conditioned to either be a part of, to consume, to utilize, that don't really serve us a higher purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think one goes about practicing life other than removing the things that don't serve you?
So I think, and I'm connecting our whole conversation here.
Hmm.
Women are more emotional, traditionally. Men are
Hmm.
more logical, right?
Right.
And what happens is when they meet, we're pushing that self so much that the understanding and the communication is very, very limited. We are afraid to be vulnerable.
Mm.
Vulnerability is where the strength is. That's actually love telling you where and showing you where you need to grow. It's
Right.
actually communicating with you and giving you the feedback of where and how you need to grow. But once somebody pokes at that vulnerability space,
Hmm.
it's too much. It's too much because we're focused on you're telling me something,
Mm.
you're telling me what to do. It's not about that. It's about, is it serving me? Is it going to make me better? I probably should listen to this thing.
Right.
So from there, it's about being still. Like you have to be able to be with yourself. You have to. We get busy, we get busy, we get busy, and then they diagnose it as ADHD, ADHD. They have all these diagnoses.
Right.
You can't keep still. Well, the moment you came out of the womb, you've been conforming it, and you've been taught to stay busy,
Yeah.
to go to college, to do this, to do A, B, C, D, and E, and you have this pressure to do this. You be tested all along the way, in
Yeah.
schools, and there's this pressure and this pushing of you being something that might not even speak to you.
Mm.
And human being, if we break this thing down, we learned this back in grade school, man, back in first grade or second grade or something. If you break
Yeah.
that down, human being, ing, it's a suffix.
Okay.
It's not past tense. I walked. I am being. I'm walking. I'm talking. We're doing this.
Right.
When are we doing it?
Present time.
Present tense, right
Yeah.
now. So if there's one thing you should know how to be, if you can see my watch,
Yeah.
what time is it?
Got it. Yeah.
It's
Now.
now. If we can learn how to be here now,
Mm-hmm.
because yesterday is gone,
Gone. Can't get it back.
tomorrow's not here yet.
Yeah.
You can't live yesterday. You can't live tomorrow. You can only create today, right now. And if you show up as your best self right now, today, there's a good chance that tomorrow is going to be just as good, equally better, or guess what? Better,
Wow.
right?
Yes.
So learning how to be and understanding that truth, that if there's one thing that we should know how to do as human beings, is be.
Wow. Awesome. That leads me to my next question. Well, more so of a quote. So I was going to read this quote, see if we can dissect it real quick. It says, ego is just a small 3-letter word that can destroy a bigger 12-letter word called, not 12, 11, no, 12, sorry, 12-letter word called relationship.
Mm. Yeah, because you're coming with all these expectations. You're
Mm-hmm.
coming with an agenda, and you're not showing up as just now human being, vulnerability. Let me see what I can learn. Let me see what I can share. So it's going to block. It's going to limit. It's going to block you from miracles and opportunities and blessings. And if it doesn't block them fully, it's at minimum going to limit them.
Right.
So you're kind of being detrimental to yourself. You can only be yourself or an illusion of yourself. There's no compromise.
Mm.
There is no compromise. Either you're going to be you, if you believe in God, if you believe in love, if you believe in a tree that's outside growing in the ground, whatever it is, as long as it's good, who am I to say, right?
Right.
But if you can only be you. And what I like to do, and what I love to do with my clients, with kids, with the corporate world, to help people show up and gain that optimal performance and maximize this human experience and get the most out of life,
Mm-hmm.
is I like to help them discover, rediscover themselves first. Because
Right.
once you open the gift that's given you, it becomes a cakewalk. It becomes very clear that you are universal, but we're living in this world of stuff,
Right.
and we don't use the world for the tools that they show us. Like, the world is just full of tools. Look at us.
Right.
Look at us. We're talking to each other over this technology. We're using the tool.
Right.
We don't allow the tool to use us.
Right.
So love is everything that we are designed to do and be here on this earth. And that ego is the one thing that can keep you away from everything you're designed to do and be here on this earth.
Wow. Wow. I like that you said that the once you open up that gift, you become universal, and it's a cakewalk. But so that cakewalk is also not in the absence of some difficulties or some obstacles that might come our way.
Mm-hmm.
So when recognizing, hey, I am capable to still push forward. I'm capable of still doing this thing, even though I will face obstacles.
Mhm.
That's amazing. That is another formality, another form of thinking that puts it together a new formality in your thought process of, no, I am able to do all these things and I can do all these things.
Yeah,
So
and
that is great.
it comes down to the perception of the individual.
Right.
No, if I lose someone dear to me, I'm trying to think of something that's, could be difficult. If
Mm.
I lose someone that's dear to me, I'm still here. First of all, I think about how long did I have this person? Was it 20 years? Was it 15 years? Was it 30,
Right.
40, 50 years?
Right.
And who am I to be so selfish to say I need them for another 10 years? What's going on here? I've been cheated. No, it's a perception.
Yeah.
You are still here. And once you open that gift and start practicing the truth, a foundation that is non-comparable to anything else, you can start using the world for what it is, and you can
Hmm.
start giving yourself, because we're designed to give. Like, we're designed to share. We're designed to learn. We're designed to uplift. Everything that we've ever learned, good or bad, it came from
Right.
another human being.
Correct.
So what is our duty here? Our duty is to tune into what's productive, what's serving us, and maximize our time while we're here.
Awesome. Perfect. That is a good input. So going back to now that was a great breakdown of that quote as well too, right? Going back to the questions here, um, is ego and a narcissist the same thing?
I classified as the same thing.
Okay.
I got away from, you know, what's his name? Marx, all the identities, and the ego
Mm-hmm.
is an identity of this and the
It's the
self.
id, is the id and all that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what I'm talking about.
I got away from all that because love is love, man. And when I'm operating on that frequency of love, I have all the confidence that I need. And it's never overbearing. It's never overstepping. It's never
Right.
limiting anyone else. It's never limiting myself. You know,
Right.
we are the source. We are the source. Before I say I love my shoes, I love it. Don't skip over the source. Like, the feeling is there, the recognition is there. You'll recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not skip over it and,
Right.
and put it all on the thing and put it all
Right.
on
Right. Right.
what we love. So I always say, man, like, love is, I've learned, I've had some wonderful experiences, and I've had my ego bubble deflated, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful, wonderful journey. And I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Okay. So the characteristics between the two are quite similar. Then we can say a person who's an egotistical maniac and a person who's a narcissist, narcissistic
Mm-hmm.
individual. So it's kind of the same or similar. You would say.
They're the same thing. They're overly self-centered,
Mm-hmm.
and they're acting away because of a fear. Like, I don't want that to happen, so I have to poke my chest out this way. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
that to happen, and so I have to act this way. Like, think about it. You can only be in one space at one time. You're either going to be in your love space, or you're going to be in
Mm-hmm.
that egotistical / fear / overly self-centered space. And our job
Yeah.
is to do our best to stay in that love space.
Okay.
That's how
I
you
got
become the king, baby. That's how you become a natural king without even calling yourself a king. You don't have to, you know?
right. 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 The crown is going to be handed to you. You don't even have to force it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So with that point, I got a second quote. It actually goes perfect what you just said. Um, when people are afraid to do some things, I'm afraid to do this, so let me stick my chest out, or let me act a certain way. There's a quote that says, "If someone corrects you and you feel offended by their correction, then you have an ego problem."
You do. You do. Because, and that's a good one. I use that too. Excuse me, because we don't take the words for what they are.
Mm,
Like, correction is a beautiful thing. You mean you're going
it
to
is.
share with me a better way to do this?
Right.
And,
Right.
and now I don't want to listen because you're telling me something.
Right.
No, it's correction, baby. Like, get it. I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter
Right.
who it is. If they're trying to correct me and bring something better to me and what I do and who I am as a human,
Right.
it might sting for like 3 seconds. But now I'm like, what do you mean? What?
Yeah.
Tell me some more, you know?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, and it's a very basic and a very simple thing. Life is simple. We make it complex.
We do. Yeah, sometimes because especially when the person's trying to correct you, I guess the mind automatically thinks, well, how dare you change something that I thought in my mind, or how dare you give feedback to something that I know to hold to be true, dear, and all near to my heart. So I guess it kind of stings, like you said, it would sting in that aspect. But man, that is crazy. Do you think there's a difference between pride and ego?
Pride and ego. I think pride is good because every now and then I have to stop, and my wife has to kind of stop
Hmm.
me and say, take a break. Like, look, take a moment to breathe and look at what you've done. Versus like boom, 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 boom. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. Uh,
Okay.
Pride, but the moment it's a very thin line between pride, confidence, that line, and then ego. It's a
Right.
very thin line, and I think we lose sight of that when we lose sight of purpose. When you have
Hmm.
the purpose is everything. When you have purpose, it helps you sleep at night. It wakes
Yep.
you up tomorrow morning.
Yep.
You're excited to go. You're
Yep.
not really about stepping on anybody's shoes because you're seeing the purpose and you're living it, and you're being it, and you're doing it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very fine line, but I think pride and being proud is okay because it's natural confidence. Love is a confident thing. I'm supposed to
Right.
believe. I'm supposed to
Yeah.
believe, right? I'm
True.
supposed to believe. So, but when I start hurting other folks, I start limiting other folks. When I start
Hmm.
limiting myself, when I start hurting myself, now your pride has become egotistical.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I completely understand. Yeah. Because I know, I remember one time a while ago, a friend of mine was telling me, "Oh, man, you're so conceited." I'm like, no, I'm just confident in myself and my ability. And I am committed to being the best version of myself. It comes off as arrogant in a way. I guess the things that you do or the tone in which you use when you communicate with people can come off or be perceived as arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
But I know for me, being a young African male, it's like in my culture, that's one of those things where, like, you see Nigerians, who people from Ghana, people from Congo, they always have those, they're bigger than life characters per
Mm-hmm.
se.
Mm-hmm.
Since a kid, we've been bred like that. So, so for me, it's like, no, I'm going to show you that I am who I am. I'm going to show you why I'm the way I am. I believe in myself. I know my purpose. I'm going to walk according to that. It took me a while to realize that, actually, but not once I did and I grasped who it was and what it is I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking on purpose, man. Walking with that purpose, walking on faith as well too. So it made me become a better individual today.
Mm-hmm.
So one last question. Well, it doesn't have to be last, but one other question, going towards the end here. Is there such thing as a healthy ego?
I say no because
Why is that?
anytime you're in the ego, it's not healthy.
Hmm.
It's very clear cut. Either you're in your love space or you're in your ego space. You know,
Because
it's very clear cut to me.
Right. Because it might be necessary, to this is an example I saw on the statement here. It's necessary for a relationship to work because you have that healthy self-esteem or that healthy insurance of yourself. So when you operate in that form, I mean, for me, when I read it, I'm just like, I don't think that's healthy at all. But so most people will say, you know what? No, it's a healthy thing to be assured in all that you do and all that you are. But yeah, you're right. Once you're operating in ego, it's no longer safe or
It's,
healthy.
it's
Because
not.
who's it healthy for?
Yeah.
You
And
know?
we have taken the energy and the value and the definition and the importance of love, like we have diminished it. No one
Mm.
wants to be vulnerable. When we say love today, people always think relationship. They don't think that you are the source, you are love.
Yeah.
You know, you ask a person, what do you think about love? And I guarantee you 80% of them go into relationships. Well, no, I don't want to date. I don't want to do this. Who mentioned
Right.
dating? And nobody said anything about dating.
That is crazy because they do. We actually have now associated love with romantic or emotional relationship
Mhm.
aspect of living,
Mhm.
but not just taking it for what truly what it is. Love knows no boundaries. Love knows no no areas of fault or areas of acceptance. It operates on its own frequency,
That's
and
it.
it just makes people be who they are.
And because of the way that society and this whole programming of this world and all the things and all the unnatural, it creates fear, it creates anxiety, it creates a lot of illusions.
Mm.
It makes love seen as weak and the ego seen as strong.
Wow.
So when you get out in society though, and you start chasing some of the things that your goals, and things are not really working out, and you're not, that love cup, that love space that you have is not being filled every day. Every day my
Yeah.
cup is full. Like it's filled overjoyed with just experiences and interactions.
Mhm.
I have to dump it out and get ready for tomorrow. So, when this happens in society, people are not fulfilled.
Mhm.
They're not operating in purpose. They're not being able to listen and tap into that intuition of theirs and that spirit. This is a wonderful gift, man. Like no other species, anything alive can operate like we can operate.
True.
A dog wakes up tomorrow, he's still a dog. You know,
Yeah.
we can wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what, I'm gonna fly to the West Coast and I'm gonna start getting my pilot's license.
Yeah.
You can do that starting tomorrow if you want, and start
Right.
chasing and have your spirit do that. But we've taken this beautiful complex machine of this brain that we have,
Mhm.
and we think it's the boss of things, and it's
Mm.
not. It's just the employee. This is the boss,
The heart. Yeah.
and this is the employee. And
Yeah.
in society, most people's employee don't work for them. It works for everybody else,
Yeah.
everything else. So you're going to get a lot of unhappy individuals, unfortunately, anxiety, depression, suicide,
Yeah.
all those other things.
No, absolutely. Yeah. A troubled heart is a clouded mind. So when your heart is not at peace, the mind is you can't function. The two can't. So in the professional setting, how can one how can one do their best to not let their ego prevent? Because ego can stand in the way of somebody's personal growth. Do you agree?
Yes.
Right. So, what would you say, or how would you advise an individual to, hey, look, whether it be personal or professional, here's how you can watch out for your ego getting in the way and to take a step back. What would you say to an individual not struggling with ego, but who thinks of themselves higher than they really are, per se?
Yeah, and especially in that professional world, um, I think it's important to align who you are with
Mm-hmm.
what you do.
Mm.
I think to maximize the opportunity and get the most out of this human experience, and sharing and giving and all of that, and all of the climbing the ladder and the success and all that, if you
Right.
can align who you are with what you do, how can you not enjoy the journey?
Right.
How can you not be open to what you're saying to me? How can
Mm.
I not? How can I not naturally progress?
Right.
And also understanding that most jobs and careers are somebody else's dream. Like, say
Yes.
if I have a dream and I want to take Love No Ego and make it a household name, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
have to maybe employ some people in circles and put some people in a circle around me.
Right.
I have to hire them. So they are kind of working towards my picture and my vision,
Right.
and a job. I love jobs. I love, it helps provide for families. It helps people find some purpose as well.
Yeah.
But it's always, for me, it's always been a journey. It's always been a journey. It's never been a destination. I'm not done once I get that. I'm always passing through.
Mm.
I'm always passing through.
Like a stepping stone.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a destination.
Mm.
You can create a wonderful life from a job, and that's great and that's awesome. I'm not knocking it at all. But understanding that it's never a destination. Like, I'm never done. We're never done.
Right.
We're never done. So, and it's not about like, I need more, I need more, I need more. It's just about, are you living in and on that purpose? And if you are, then the journey is going to be more enjoyable. You're going to meet the people that you need to meet. You're going to
Yeah.
gain the resources that you want, that you need to gain to be successful.
Right.
And guess what? You're going to be happy.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Because even the volume of success in which one can achieve, I think today's society has have, have painted the word success to be this one image thing, or this one not even one image, this one glove fits all type of thing. For what's my success cannot be the same level as your success, because what you want to do might not be the same thing.
Mhm.
It's an area that people struggle with because they just don't know, or they have not surrounded themselves with the people or the surrounding that will offer them to get to that point. Now, my question to you is this: being that you're so, from somebody outside looking in, it's, oh, this brother's well put together. This brother's, got everything. He knows what he wants. Without going too much into detail of your full background, but how long did it take you to come to this point to acknowledge, you know what? This is what I am, this is who I am,
Mhm.
and this is what I need to do and start thinking to give back. So that journey for you to take the ego out. So, you know what, Freddie, I'm not gonna, impose my will on everybody. I'm just gonna let myself be and be directed by love and by God and how I'm gonna move around in life.
Well, yeah, I made some mistakes. I don't think you get to this point of like coming up with a phrase like love, no ego, without like having your egotistical bubble burst.
Yeah.
Some bullet points. I'm a former college athlete. I'm a current personal trainer of 14 years. I'm a former music artist. I wrote a lot of music. I lived in Hollywood. I did some commercials. I did some ads. I've been on some TV shows.
Nice.
I have an undergrad degree in radio broadcast and journalism. I have a master's in psychology. I have a second
Hey,
master.
same here.
Yeah, great
Same,
stuff.
yeah, masters in psych.
Second master's in organizational development and leadership. And through all these experiences, I just my cup wasn't being filled. Like, I was
Mm,
still a little bit empty, and I was empty because I was looking for the outside to
mm,
fulfill me when I already had everything that I needed to be successful right here. And we don't teach. That's why I started the nonprofit, to work with the youth and teach them how to look within. Like, you already have it. If you're here and you're able to look within, you're going to find it.
right.
So summing that piece up, I made some mistakes. I hurt some people. I did some things, man. And I came to this epiphany moment where I came to see all of the programming over the
Mm,
years from childhood, some of those incidents that caused me to, it put this stamp on me that I carried, and it made me very judgmental. It made me
mm,
very competitive.
mm,
Um, it made me very just, egotistical.
mm,
And I came to this. There were many moments, but I came to this one moment of just, you hear this saying, and it's cliche. You're tired of being tired.
right.
You know, and
Yes.
I was just ready to act. I was just ready to respond, and not necessarily react, but I was ready to respond, and I was willing to do this.
Mm.
Willing to be
To
quiet.
listen.
I
Yeah.
was willing to sit still for a minute and see what love was trying to tell me. And it'll tell you what to do. It always tells you what to do.
Wow.
We don't always listen. We don't have that courage to listen and make that tough decision sometimes that needs to be made. But I mean, how can love lead you to something that's not good for you? It's always going to lead to
Right.
something that's good for you.
Right.
But for whatever reason, fear, overly self-centeredness, we say, well, let me compromise and try to do it this way and do it that way. And there's no compromise.
Mm.
There is no compromise. So for me, it was just about tired of being tired times 20, you know,
Wow.
and I surrendered, I just surrendered. I gave it, I just gave it away. And my life got very simple. I don't have TV. Me and my wife, we don't have TV. We haven't had it in our homes for years.
Really?
Yeah, no TVs anywhere. My wardrobe is very simple. I could pick it up and put it in one arm and be done. Uh,
Wow.
we have plants. We have things that keep us active. We take walks every day. We're active folks. We're outdoors. We're in
That's
nature.
amazing.
We're in nature 90% of the time. And nature is where we came from, man. It's like
Yeah.
it's a natural connection,
Yeah.
So
You came
all
from the soil of the ground.
yeah, all of that hit me, man, and I was like, whoa, I'm not blocking any more blessings, bro. I just can't do it. I
Mm.
just can't do it. And I'm enjoying the journey. I'm an author. I've written 2 books. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful human experience. And I pray that everybody, each one of us, can have that courage to listen to what love is trying to tell us to do, because it only leads you to happiness. All roads of love lead to happiness. It's just some tough
True.
decisions along the way.
Yeah.
You have to have the courage to make those decisions.
Yeah, because I was just about to ask that. Once that decision was made on your behalf, I'm pretty sure certain people around you didn't understand it. Certain
Hmm.
people around you like, man, you tripping. I said, what is this man? Oh,
Yeah.
but you held out because, like you said, you have all these degrees, all these accomplishments, but you felt like, nah, my self worth and my self ability to improve depends on just that
Mhm.
self. And like you said, you stopped hearing and talking, you started to listen. This is a quote by Jim Rohn. It says, formal education will make you a living, but self education will make you a fortune. And that's what sounds like that's what you did. You self educated yourself on this is going to make me filled my cup inside and not the outside material trying to fit inside, but inside being filled first to
Yeah.
gain the outside. And that is amazing.
Yeah. And the world, the world will conform to you instead of you conforming to the world.
Yeah,
Once you live in purpose and on purpose, you'll find that the world conforms to you, and what's for you is yours whenever you're ready for it, though. Like
true,
it's already there. It's already out there. It already exists.
true.
Everything you're trying to achieve, everything I'm trying to achieve, is
Yeah,
out there. So what's
absolutely.
the difference between this point and this point? It's about the decisions you make to get there.
Right.
And how do you get there? Just being in purpose, man. It's not
Being your
perfect. It's
purpose.
not perfection. It's just purpose.
Wow, living in the now. Listen, thank you so much for being with us today. We're coming close to an end here. There's a scripture from the book of Proverbs. I'm a big faith guy. I've been believe in our Lord Jesus Christ as my Savior. It's just like when you're speaking all these things, I'm just like, yeah, that's definitely true. The world needs just to connect to all that. Proverbs 16 verse 18 says, uh, "Pride goes before destruction, and the highest before the fall." So it's when you remove pride and ego out the way, there's nothing that will distract you. There will be no destruction to come upon you. So um, as you are tuning in today's guest coming on the show for the first time, this is the Kingsville podcast. We meet every week here. We discuss. We have great guests, such as our guest today. Before we close our episode, I'm gonna let him just take a couple of minutes, tell the people where they can find you, tell the people what you're doing, what's the next project you got coming up, and any major event that you have coming up.
Mhm.
How we can support you so tell the people where they can find you at and all the things that you have going on right now, sir.
Yeah, so I formed a nonprofit almost 8 years ago, the Love No Ego Foundation. If you Google Love No Ego, it's going to come up. You're going to see me. You're going to see our team. But
Mm.
that nonprofit, man, it just helps youth and young adults ages 10 to 24 just work on those things: spirituality, education, exercise, community. Spirituality, education, exercise, community. LoveNoEgo.org. And then I started getting a lot of calls from the corporate world. I
Mm.
started going into the corporate world, speaking about ego in the workplace, how to remove those biases, those fears, that judgment, and help individuals perform at an optimal level personally as well as professionally. And from
Mm.
that, I'll go into schools and we have our own curriculum. We take it into schools and we stay in the schools and work for an extended period of time, 8 weeks minimum. And these kids started calling me Mr. Love No Ego. Mr. Love No Ego's back. Mr. Love No Ego's back. And I was like, that has a good ring to it. So I used that as the speaker and the coach, and also have MrLoveNoEgo.org. And all of that just kind of stemmed into a book, Love No Ego, Where Are You Living From?
Mhm.
Kind of highlights those spaces, why we make decisions and where we make them from. Then I wrote the user's manual. The user's manual, I spelled it that way on purpose, YOUS.
Right. I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Uh,
that's you.
yeah, and I write in my own style, like my mom, and my faith and love and everything has given me the courage to be myself, because this is who I am. And if I was
Right.
created this way, then what I'm doing and how I'm saying it and how I deliver it is for a specific reason. And
Mm.
I want to be obedient to that. I want to pay attention to that. So the user's manual is kind of like summing it up as where we have a lot of things. We know how a lot of things work. We know how these computers work. I know how this water bottle works. I know how my iPhone works. I know how everything works. But do we know how
Right.
we work? So it's a manual and a guide to being human. 20 principles and personal stories that I share that has helped shape me to be the best person that I can be, and given me the courage to continue on with that mission. So lovenoego.org and MrLoveNoEgo.org. And we're just rocking and rolling, man, staying in purpose and trying to make this thing a household name for the reason of just impacting lives,
Mhm.
as well as my own.
Right.
I learned so much from just doing this work.
Right. Yeah. I remember my dad always tell me, if you have not learned, or if you don't take every day as a lesson, you're not doing something right. Every day you got to learn something new, right? You got to learn something new every day, and that is true. I try to look at myself, even as you just not as a sense of learning, but what did I bring on the table today for somebody else? How
Yeah,
did I impact somebody else's life today?
yeah,
Whether it be at work, whether it be with my family, whether it be within my relationship, how can I be the best version of myself so I can be a blessing for
yeah. I
others?
like to start every day, man. I get up every day, 3:45 a.m., right? And the first hour and a half of my day is just being with me. Um,
Mm.
and something I say to myself every day, it's like, it's a brand new day. Like, it's a brand new day. Like, we've never seen this day before. Never,
Right,
and that excites me. And
right.
I lose track of the worldly clock, the 24-hour clock.
I was just about to
You
ask
know,
that. So you're not even bound by the
yeah,
clock, or you're bound by it's Wednesday again.
yeah. I lose sight of that. I lose touch, and I'm not confined to the 24-hour clock as much as I used to be. Like, I
Mm.
knew we were going to talk at 7 p.m., of course, but
Right.
like, the 24-hour clock is a made up thing. A person just like you and I made that.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so 2 o'clock today can't be the same as 2 o'clock yesterday, because it's a brand new day.
Hmm.
So that kicks me out of the box. And I'm super, super excited about just today, just waking up and being here. And I'm
Awesome.
grateful. And I can take it from there.
Yeah,
you know?
that is. Listen, we can talk for days. I truly, truly enjoyed our time talking to you. I hope this is not the last time we have you on. Whether if you're in Florida, or we're traveling to Charleston or Charles, is it Charlottesville? Where you are?
Charlottesville, Virginia. Yeah.
Joshua, Virginia, we there want to pop in and say, hey, we're here, let's do a little something. We'll definitely love to take another opportunity to have a conversation with you. So for our listeners, all the information that Mr. Love No Ego himself has said. We'll put it on the description if you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening on the podcast. All the descriptions of and the links to every item that he mentioned, all the links will be all in the description. So if you're trying to take notes as you're listening, don't worry, we got you. We're gonna make sure it's there, and that's gonna be highlighted and on social media platforms wherever you find your podcast it is. So for all my kings out there, just remember, stay focused, rise up. God's got you. We got you too. Thank you and see you in the next episode. God bless.
Thank you.